"Welcome, Jenna. Make yourself at home." Her mother-in-law gestured broadly to the house. "But don't forget you're a guest." Her daughter, Bridget, standing next to her, chuckled softly. Jenna smiled modestly and followed Dave into his room. Her husband closed the door behind them, hugged the girl, and smiled. "There, Jenna. You and I are finally a real family." Jenna snuggled trustfully against her spouse. "Get up early tomorrow," her mother-in-law said to Jenna after dinner. "Help me with breakfast. We have a large family." "Of course, Mrs. Greens." The girl smiled softly. Her husband's family was indeed large. 4 brothers and a sister, but the oldest was already married and living apart, and the youngest was in the army. Dave was the second oldest. Fortunately, Dave's father, before he left this world, had built a big house for the family that had enough space for everyone. Each member of the family had his own spacious room. Naturally, when Dave and Jenna decided to get together, there were no questions about a place to live. "We'll stay at our place for now," Dave said. "It's a big house, enough space for everyone, plus you won't get bored while I'm at work." Dave worked shifts at a woodworking plant about 5 kilometers from town. His salary was good, and so they decided that Jenna would not work, but would devote herself to making their little family home-like. Their decision was supported by Dave's mother as well. "Of course, Jenna, a wife's job is to take care of her husband, to make sure he has a delicious dinner, a clean house, and a loving wife waiting for him, and let him provide for the family financially." Jenna thought, "What a good mother-in-law I'll have." She herself had worked very hard and looked after the house and raised the kids all her life. In the morning, Jenna got up early, as she had promised, and helped Mrs. Greens make breakfast. Then, after seeing her husband off to work, she washed the dishes for everyone and went to her room. She needed to make their bed, clean up, and unpack her suitcases. "Jenna," her mother-in-law peeked into the room without knocking, "when you are done, clean up the other rooms too, and then start making dinner. When Bridget comes home from school, she should have hot soup right away." Jenna was surprised by the request, but didn't say anything, thinking that she really couldn't sit idle all day, and she should help Mrs. Greens after all. She was her family now, her husband's mother, and that meant she was her mother too. So it became a custom. In the morning, Jenna got up early to make breakfast. Then, after seeing everyone off, she would go about cleaning, cooking, doing laundry, and ironing. Mrs. Greens only commanded her what to do. "Jenna, did you do the laundry? Here's more of Bridget's bedding and the boys' clothes. Do the laundry." And she threw a huge pile of laundry to the girl. When Jenna first decided to use the washing machine, Mrs. Greens began to grumble. "What are you doing? It's such an expensive thing. We only use it for certain clothes. Besides, we have to save electricity. Also, it doesn't wash properly. You can do it better. Your hands are much more effective." "No big deal. I've been doing laundry with my hands my whole life. And so can you." "Jenna, clean Simon's room. He must have eaten in his room again last night. There are crumbs everywhere. Wash Eaton's work clothes. He's been wearing it for 2 weeks. Sew Simon's pants up. Bleach Bridget's blouse. Get Eaton's suit ready. He's got a meeting." Jenna spent the whole day doing many different chores, taking care of her huge new family. Mrs. Greens did nothing to help her. After giving her commands, she went outside and chatted with the neighbors all day long. After a few months of living like this, Jenna was no longer happy that she had agreed to live with her mother-in-law. It would have been better in a small room, in a dorm, than living like this, the girl thought, sadly. But she didn't dare complain to her husband. Dave noticed something wrong with his wife after all. She had lost weight, turned pale, was out of tune, and did not want any intimacy with her husband at all, preferring to go to sleep. "Jenna, what's going on?" He tried to make the girl talk, but she only shook her head and answered, "It's okay, just getting used to my new married life." Jenna's silence was aided by Mrs. Green's constant reasoning that there was nothing hard about housework. In the past, women had worked at home, in the fields, taking care of children, and working in the vegetable garden. And there is no point in complaining about married life if the husband does not drink, does not beat his wife, and provides for the family. One day there was an accident at the plant, and Dave was allowed to go home early. He was glad he could spend time with his wife, so he went to the store, bought a cake and a bottle of champagne, and headed home in high spirits. He was surprised when he didn't find his wife at home. "Where's Jenna?" he asked his mother, standing at the gate. "At the river, I guess," she waved her hand. Did she go for a walk or something, Dave thought, and headed toward the river. He found Jenna on the bridge by the river. The girl was rinsing the laundry, and there were 2 huge basins of that very laundry next to her. "Jenna," the man exclaimed, "what does all this mean? Do we really have so much dirty laundry? Even if so, why didn't you use the washing machine?" Jenna got up from her knees, walked over to her husband, snuggled into his chest, and cried. A worried Dave hugged his wife and asked her to tell him everything. The resentments and anxieties she'd accumulated over the past few months poured out of Jenna, along with her tears. What is wrong with her? Is she out of her mind? Dave was angry. "Come on." He tossed the laundry into the basins, loaded them into the cart, and almost ran toward the house. "Mother, I invited my wife into our house. She is my wife and not your servant," he exclaimed upon seeing Mrs. Greens. "What, already ratted?" Mrs. Greens answered, looking sternly at Jenna. Bridget was already home from school and was standing next to her mother, glaring angrily at Jenna. "And you," Dave turned to his sister, "do you really think you're so gorgeous and you're going to find yourself a rich man who will hire a maid for you? Can't you do your laundry yourself?" "Why do you resent it, son?" Mrs. Greens tried to object. "It has always been that way. A wife has to take care of her husband and his family once she has entered his house. What's the big deal here? It isn't the 17th century, and I don't want my wife ruining her health by slaving for lazy relatives. And anyway, why won't you let her use the washing machine? Do you realize how much electricity it consumes? Why does that bother you at all? I pay for the electricity, not you." The scandal was enormous. Dave's brothers who came home from work were also involved. No one wanted to lose a servant, so they all supported their mother. But Dave was adamant. "My wife won't be your servant anymore. Fortunately, Father willed this house to everyone, and I have my share in it. Therefore, Jenna and I will now do our household chores separately from you." With those words, Dave put his arm around his wife and took her to their room. "If they hurt you in any other way or make you do anything else, just tell me right away. Deal?" "All right," Jenna nodded happily. But the girl could not breathe a sigh of relief. She was rid of housework, but the constant rebukes, taunts, and mockery began. She washed the dishes the wrong way, put them in the wrong place, and didn't clean up after herself carefully enough in the common areas. And she was never allowed to use the washing machine. "That's our washing machine," her mother-in-law said angrily and pressed her lips together. "You've separated from our family, so don't use our stuff. Be thankful we let you take the plates." Jenna wasn't upset. Hand-washing for 2 people is still better than hand-washing for 6. However, her calmness only made her new family angry. One day, when the girl was carrying the basin with the washed laundry into the yard to hang it up, Bridget, her husband's sister, as if unintentionally, tripped her. Unbalanced, Jenna flew off the porch. The basin and a pile of wet laundry fell right on her. She felt a searing pain in her belly and lost consciousness. She woke up in the hospital. A pale-looking Dave was sitting beside her. "What happened?" Jenna whispered. "Everything's fine now," her husband replied, trying to keep his voice from shaking. "Except..." "What?" The girl was frightened. "Jenna, we lost the baby. But please, no worries. The doctor said that you're okay and we can still have a baby." Dave leaned over and hugged his wife. From the hospital, the couple went to a rented apartment. Soon, Jenna got a job at the local library, but she didn't work there for long. The new quiet and happy married life paid off. Jenna got pregnant. On time, Dave and Jenna had their firstborn child. Happy Dave started building a house, and by the time his daughter was born, the family moved into their own home. Dave and Jenna communicate with his mother, sister, and brothers, but rather coldly and formally. The birth of grandchildren has not made Mrs. Greens any kinder. The woman is not eager to coddle them. She is still convinced that she was right about her daughter-in-law. Jenna is not upset by her mother-in-law's attitude. She is perfectly comfortable with help from her parents and the care and love of her husband. This story is based on real events that happened in the life of a close friend of the author. Thanks to her for sharing her story, the reality was even worse. Dave and Jenna lived happily together for 45 years. They had 4 children whom they raised and gave a great start in life. Sadly, Dave passed away, but Jenna is still babysitting 12 wonderful grandchildren and 8 great-grandchildren. Dear friends, if you like the story, please subscribe to our channel, like the video, and write a comment. This is very important for the growth of our channel. We wish you good mood and sound